Hi everyone and welcome to my channel and to this time-lapse version of a very serene and peaceful sunset harbour. I hope that you enjoy this short, speedy version here. I will be releasing a full-length tutorial on this on my Patreon channel. But please do subscribe here on YouTube if you enjoy this, and I hope that you'll check out the full tutorial too. So I decided to have a little break from painting animals. I do love to paint landscapes too. And because we're midsummer right now, I thought it would be very appropriate to sit and work on a beautiful sunset. So in one way, escaping the sun, and in another way, completely immersing myself in this sunset. I'm using pastel mat here. Quite often my landscapes have been on velour pastel paper, but I've been working a lot more on pastel mat in recent years, and I'm interested to try it out for certain effects that I've had great success on velour with. So in this case, creating a nice gradient of colour within the sky. And I'm using mostly my Unison pastels for this, those beautiful warm tones. Unison are so good with these colours. And you can see that the colour of the pastel mat paper I'm using is actually a lovely plum sort of purple colour itself. I bought this paper not really knowing what I was going to do with it, but the colour of it was just so inviting. And when I looked at this reference image, it just seemed to fit. I took this photo a couple of years ago while we were on our travels. I think we were parked up in the motorhome at a lovely harbour in Italy somewhere, just south of Venice. But the image itself is pretty nondescript. It's hard to tell where you are. Really, you could be at any harbour. And what attracted me to this one was obviously the beautiful warm sunset colours, but the fact that those sunset colours get reflected in all of the water below the horizon too. And in this case, almost everything else is a kind of silhouette. And now silhouettes can look really dead within a painting. And in this tutorial, what I wanted to talk about lots was how to bring life into your silhouettes. How to make them more lifelike. So in this case, the land on the other side of the harbour has some little buildings dotted about it. It's pretty hard to see in the photo reference, and I have some tricks for that as well, which I discuss in the main tutorial. But I'm trying to keep it without too much detail back here. Just adding little dots of colour here and there to suggest a bit of detail. And now all of the colours that I've used in the sky are going to continue further down the painting. As I mentioned, we've got the full sunset being shown even more vibrantly in the water. We've got all of the little posts creating a nice diagonal through the piece, but I'll leave those until a bit later. The idea is to get the water in first and then create those dark posts over the top. When you're painting water reflections, you want to try and keep your marks horizontal. And if the water's disappearing behind something, like it is here with all of these posts, you want to make it seem like some of those marks disappear behind the post and come out the other side again. So you really want to make it appear like the water is seamless behind the posts. But you'll see when I'm creating the water that it's really all of those vibrant colours from the sunset. And all of my marks going in a general horizontal direction. So I get a bit more of the water blocked in and start to work on the foreground. I love having a good excuse like this to crack out some of Unison's most vibrant colours. This red-orange in particular is one of my favourites. I love how Pastel goes on to the surface. It's such a vibrant and solid medium when you need it to be. And then you can use it with a lighter touch and get a much more faint, subtle mark. It's just such a versatile medium. So all of the little posts being helped along with a bit of pastel pencil as well. And while I am using black within a lot of the silhouetted items, in the main tutorial you will see all of the other colours that I'm adding over the top of the black. Black on its own can look pretty stark, sometimes a bit cold within a painting. That's why it's great to have a range of dark toned pastels. Now you'll notice that I do like to use black. I am coming in with a black new pastel stick, which is a little bit harder. The harder edge on it allows me to create some of the crisp edges of the silhouetted items. But then you do see me add colour over the top of some of the dark areas just to liven it up a bit. Now I know that some artists completely avoid black. In fact, Terry Ludwig pastels don't actually produce a pure black. Their whole thing is to paint with more hue and avoid pure black. And I love that idea. But in my work, I pretty much always do use some pure black. But I'm always mindful of the fact that it can deaden an image. And therefore I have lots of tricks to try and bring life into my black areas. So this piece is a great tutorial for working with black areas. So many things silhouetted. But hopefully I've managed to bring a bit more life into those areas with the colours that I've used. So the piece totaled about 5 hours. And that is going to get turned into a full-length tutorial. It's perfect as a paint-along tutorial if you want to work right along with me and create this image. I'll provide you with the exact colours that I've used and give you all the information that you'll need to work along with me, as well as the high-resolution reference image to download. So do be sure to check this one out on my Patreon channel if you fancy having a go. But I also know that many of you will have your own photo references that are a little bit like this. If you're anything like me, then you're probably obsessed with photographing sunsets. And it's quite common to get this silhouetted look in your sunset photo reference. So I hope that this tutorial will help many of you be able to turn those lovely sunset snaps into impressive paintings. So the final touches going on. Some of the little lines coming across, tethering the boats to the posts. And then the final thing to go on the sky. I left them till the very end just for the satisfaction of adding them in. You can see here that I've taped a piece of paper over the rest of the painting just so that I have somewhere to lean. And again, the little birds get a touch of colour added just to break up the black of the silhouette. So I hope that you've enjoyed seeing this come together. Do check it out in real time if you'd like to have a go. But if you've enjoyed this here, please do subscribe here on YouTube. Check out all my other playlists for lots more time-lapse videos, but also lots of real-time and informative videos too, all about soft pastel. But thanks very much for watching this here, and until next time, happy pasteling.